I recently released a YouTube video where a viewer asked me for some help. He took a Nintendo Switch to a repair shop because it didn't work on a docking station, aka displayed to the TV. When he got the Nintendo Switch back from the shop, he confirmed to me that it in fact had no power at all. Don't know what they had done to the device, but they had made it from bad to extremely worse. They did, however, give the customer a full refund. After receiving the Switch, I could see that it was as bent as a banana. Something wasn't adding up, and I don't know whether it was bent before it went to the shop or the shop done the bending. The charging port itself was just not soldered on correctly, so I knew this is one place where I needed to start. You'll have to bear with me because I need to explain the context of this before we go into the details of this video. P13 USB, which is the chip responsible for displaying the image to a monitor externally, had bridges everywhere and was completely shorted out. The video chip specifically wasn't sat flat to the board either because of the bend in the board. After changing that, we got the full draw, however, it still wouldn't turn on. I then decided to push down on the APU with my thumb, as because the board was bent, I had a feeling that there might have been some cracked solder balls underneath the APU which weren't connecting properly, and that was what was causing it to not work. Subsequently, we were right, which told me that I'm probably going to have to reball this APU, put it back onto the motherboard and see if that works. To which I did exactly that. After sorting out the APU, lo and behold, it turned on. So I thought it'd be best to change the charging port now so we can call this job lovely jubbly. I think personally, because of how bent the board was, there were internal layers of that board that were damaged, meaning that no matter what we did to that board, it wasn't going to work. If I try and bend it back, most probably those layers are going to snap completely, and I'm never going to be able to find exactly what layer is broken. So we had a bunch of intermittent issues. I decided at that point to call it there, contact this customer who had submitted it for a free repair, and just confirm with them that unfortunately I wasn't able to fix it, which hurts. I then had a few people ask me, Joey, why don't you transfer the APU onto another donor board? And this would require a lot of expertise and a lot of work. Plus, I've never done it before. The customer had got back to me and said, no problem at all, thank you for trying. Feel free to keep the parts to use for another person's device. So I knew in that sense as well that there wasn't going to be much risk involved because they said I can keep it and use it as a donor board. So what was the harm in trying at this point? Worst case scenario, it's broke already, and again, I just used the parts. Best case, I can then contact that customer and tell them, actually, we managed to fix it. But I didn't know if you just had to transfer the APU and the NAND, or whether there was another chip involved. There's like an anti-piracy chip. So this is all kind of like unknown territory. And this right here is exactly how it went down. Firstly, I had to sort through a pile of donor Nintendo Switch boards that I have and try to find one that was going to be suffice enough for this transfer of the APU, aka meaning that it didn't have a bunch of missing components and it had no shorts. Eventually, I came across this board, which ironically just worked until... Oh, that's an M92 T36 error, no? Usually indicates corrupted data likely on the micro SD card. To fix, first try safe mode initialization without deleting the save data. That's 2002-4373. 2002-4373. So that's not a M92. It means that the console's files are corrupt. Exactly what it says on the tin here. Even though the device was looking spick and span and in really good condition, the error was a software related issue, and I wasn't going to be able to fix that on this donor. Nor am I going to actually be able to use this donor board for the APU transfer. I didn't want to risk transferring everything over for it to still be corrupted. Eventually, I found a successful donor that was just missing a few things. Turn on all my gizmos. I'm just giving it a quick once over, and then I'll go back over with the wick properly, because there's a lot of solder on this chip from the previous reball. The reball that I'm talking about is I already reballed this to put back onto the customer's board, so it already had leaded solder mixed in. That's why I'm not applying more leaded solder here and instead just wicking the APU. Couple in the top right. Is this clean enough? Is the first question. I'll give it a little wipe with some IPA. Here we go. See that? That is now dried solder paste. When I done this last time, it was rather wet. And the issue with using wet solder paste is what? I think it takes it takes longer to actually liquefy and molten. And B, because it has flux in, it can actually shift it around. So this is me drying out the paste, trying this method that people, a lot of people recommend all the time. Let's do this. Should I just YOLO 300, see how it goes? Well, it's actually going, and the stencil hasn't come up. Let me just get some tweezers as well, just to like double secure it and see if that really does make a difference here. I think it actually looks okay, and then we'll come with some flux. Oh, there's a little bit of something there. Maybe not. No, it just looks way too uneven, hey? Like, some balls are huge, some balls are small. It's just way too uneven, man. How do people do this, you know? Can I go with paste and then take it out of the stencil, or is that not advised? I'm trying to basically, I mean, look, I could do this manually, and we all know that I can do it manually after plopping some balls on. I'm trying to find a way that going forward I can do every single time and it just work. That is what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, I don't think I can take the stencil off with the paste, you're right. I think that's a stupid question, to be fair. I should have known better. Could I go maybe like 280? Yeah, I'd say reballing is one of the hardest things to do in soldering. I'd probably say that along with like trace repair, but a very advanced trace repair. You've seen how like, you know, Northwest Repair? Has anybody watched Northwest Repair's channel? Where Tony, I think his name is Tony, he does like PCB crack repair. That, to me, I think is the hardest thing. Diagnosing is obviously a very, very hard part of the job. But I'd say that the actual physical ability to repair damaged, cracked PCBs is very, very, very challenging. Trace repair, multi-layer, yeah, exactly, yeah. Those sorts of things. I'm going to go 270. What does this paste say that it melts at? With the flux, bear in mind. Because I feel like the flux paste itself will lower the temperature. It says 183. Do you know what? I'm going to go 250. That's 50 degrees lower than what I was just doing. So I'm going to go 250. And I'm just going to be very, very patient, just getting every little single molecule out. Technically, this stencil should not move on 250C. I'm keeping it in one place now. I'm just going to go with a little bit more patience here, okay? All right, 270. Okay. That was 270. I'm going to go with a little bit of flux. Now I'm going to keep it 270 and come back in. Okay, I feel like I was really patient there. It probably still needs a little bit of, when I take it out, I'll probably put some more flux on and give it a quick reflow, but I could up the temperature there because I won't have the stencil on. I don't know how this is gone, though. I don't know how this is gone. I can't really tell. The stencil definitely didn't bubble as much. It took a long time to get the solder to actually flow, but I just need to make sure that, and I mean, these balls seem soldered from what I can tell, even if they look a little bit dull and grey up here. I think they're soldered to the actual chip, which is good. So I think I just remove it now. No, I think the top left look pasty because there's a lot of flux in this area. See this? Look. And if I go to move them, they're not moving. So let's see what happens. It comes out of the stencil nice, I've just noticed. Right, there's no paste on this one here. I'm up at 300. Yeah, bottom left no, bottom right no ball. Just see what it looks like. I mean, it looks okay. I wonder, actually, if for this, specifically, where I'm trying to get this off, would the sponges be better? Because they don't have fibres. I mean, it's not bad. All balls look the same size, though. All balls look the same size. Like, they are same size. A couple on the right side that look a little bit bigger, but that is very, very small in comparison. I know there's a couple missing. We're missing... How's that on the left? How's that looking right there? How many do we have missing, guys, in total? Is it just one or is it... I think it's two, right? We got one there. Down here. Oh, we got one here as well. So there's one on this left-hand side and one on the right. I mean, I think that was pretty clean, considering that all I have to do is put two balls on. When if I go to, like, do actual balls manually, it takes me ages. No, they are on. That's just like, I think that's where IPA has gone on, and it's a mixture of IPA and flux. Like, these little rings that you see around the balls are not pads. That is like, it's just like a cleaning solution. It sounds really weird. It's like a reaction from the flux and the IPA. Excuse me. See that? So they're on. I'm going to go 0. I'm going to try 0.3 and see how they look, because I don't want to go 0.4. If I go 0.4 and they're too big, it's not good. Whereas if they're 0.3 and I need to add a little bit, then I can always do that. Do you know what I mean? So I'll add 2 0.3s and go from there. Well, I think 0.3 might be a bit too small. I think maybe 0.4 might be more beneficial here. I think 0.4. I'm making the call. Yeah, I think that looks better. Plus, if you think about it, it's going to squish down, right? I think 0.4 is the one. Can I be honest? I'm not happy with that. Now I've got it from this angle. All of them are different sizes. APU, CPU looks bent to me. PCB, yeah, most probably, again, because this is the bent board, remember, which is probably why it's not working in the first place. I mean, this angle, it doesn't necessarily look too bent, in my opinion. So it could be angles as well. That doesn't look bent to me. This way it does. It looks like it's got a little bit of a bowed in the middle, doesn't it? But this way it doesn't. So maybe it's just one side, because that looks straight, and it's not. I'm not pinching it, if you watch, right? I'm just going to quickly, you'll see me, like, move it apart, watch. So you can see me moving it apart. That's me putting it together. So it's not like this has been gripping too hard. It's just this was from the bent board PCB. I think one side is bent. I'm just not happy with those balls, man. And what's weird, right, is the one that we added, which was over here. So I added 2. I added one up here on the left, this one, which is one that looks to me really big. I also added one that was, what, here somewhere? But that's the thing. I can't tell which one this was. And they were both 0.4. Do you know what I mean? So I can't tell which one of these was the 0.4. And it was like one of these rails. But this side, this ball is massive. Maybe it's not soldered down properly. It kind of looks like it's, I don't know. Maybe it needs a quick reflow. Should I reflow the chip again? 250 degrees. I agree. I think it could be a soldering issue. Right, that's enough. Just gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit before I pour IPA on this. This is just 100, by the way. No, still big, hey? Look, and they're still all uneven. Honestly, I think it might just be that one, though. Let me turn it around. They all look good. That side actually looks pretty impressive. That side, good. If the other side was like that, it'd be lovely jubbly. This side, they all seem to be a little different. Let me turn the chip around so I can inspect the other sides, because that's the decision maker for me. To be fair, that looks all right. That looks all right. Oh, I can definitely see the bow. Wow, look at this. See that chip? Can you see the bow? I can see it more so now on the right side. Look at that. I think it's just that one ball. Yeah, I think it's just that one. Right. That should be a little bit better. Putting the airspeed up. I swear if this is too small. That's so much better. Yeah, 0.3 for the win. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Still some balls that aren't like identical in size, but you're never going to be perfect unless you use balls. You're never going to be perfect unless you use balls. Maybe I try a different like balling method to really hone in on it and see if I can get that down. Because if I get that down, I feel like I'll be... Do you know what it is? I feel like I just need something that puts all the balls in the holes properly. I've seen Phil use IPA in his finger, and he'll just like rub everything until the balls are in the holes. But if I do that, the balls stick to my fingers. I don't know how. Without gloves, obviously, when it comes to reballing the APU specifically. Reballing other chips, I'm good. Reballing other chips, I'm good. Southbridge's SSD controller chips. Yes, I removed the FPC connector, so I do have to install an FPC connector. But I think everything else other than M92T36 is actually on the board, which is why I chose this board. I have no idea what's wrong with it. Not a Scooby-Doo. Gonna add some flux. I'll come in with some more flux in a minute. This one's being stubborn. This worked fine on the other switch. There we go. I didn't let it solder now. Wick. Rotating board. Chopping wick. Clean. That's a clean pull, hey? No torn pads. Really nice. That looks good to me. And we go back in. Straight away. Flux. Locked. Here we go. It moved. Nice. Let it cool down a little bit. So I need to take the donor from this board. So I'm going to show you that now as well. Got testing all sorts of ability today, hey? What I like to do here, bit of flux, and I do like to put leaded. And the reason I put leaded here, where I usually wouldn't, is because I'm heating from the other side of the board. I still think you'd probably be able to get away with not adding leaded, but it just makes the process a bit cleaner and a bit quicker. See? Remove this one. Remove that solder to molten. There it goes. Take the connector. Take our board that we're going to be putting it onto, and a tiny bit of flux, by the way. Nothing too big. Nothing too big. Just a few dots. Just like that. Drop connector on. Line her up. Come back in. I'm going to check it and make sure that it's definitely sat down correctly. All good. Look at that. Very nice job. Very nice job. Huge moment of truth. Ready? Here we go. Come on, please turn on. Please turn on. Please. Go on. Turn on. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yes! Enough messing around. Let's make sure the whole thing works. The fact that it turns on, me just pushing the button, lovely jubbly. Game card. 3, 2, 1. Wow. What about Joy-Cons? 1, 2. I don't believe it. Let me see if Wi-Fi works. Wow, it connects to Wi-Fi as well. Lord, the glove. It's updating the games. Can we play a game? Fan spinning, because I looked a second ago. Yep, fan spinning. Drawing over 1 amp, which is healthy because we've got both of the Joy-Cons plugged in as well. They'll be charging. Yeah, I don't really believe it. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit shocked. I think that's where I'm at the moment. I'm a little bit shocked. So I managed to do a paste reball on a Nintendo Switch APU, the LCD connector, M92T36, plus everything else that I've done to this console in the video. Oh yeah, will it dock? Oh, 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, it's a different board though, isn't it? Wait, it's a different board, so technically it should dock. Technically, it should dock. This is a different Nintendo Switch board. What are the chances that this one also doesn't work for a docking station? Very slim. Let me try an official dock. The plot thickens. Why won't you dock? Port issue? I mean, it's still on. It still works, etc. If I've gone this far, you best believe I'm finishing it. You know what I mean? Ah, Joey. Joey. Lord, glove. I've clearly taken parts from this. Right as Zach, aka Nanofix, has said, yeah, good job, Joey, on picking the board. Lol, I'm missing 1, 2, 3 components, 4, 5 components here, and they're all so small. Oh, gosh. Missing component on the left, just 1? I count 6, so GG to me. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. I'd much prefer this than not knowing what the issue was, you know? It looks pretty rough, but it won't look rough. Circuit rebuilt. Airflow was 30% there. If I can get this to work in the docking station, it's fully fixed. 3, 2, 1. Try it one more time the other way. One more time. I think it's a bad port. I'm going to try it in a docking station. It's not having it. I don't know if it is the port. This sounds really stupid. I know that wiggling the port is what is interfering with it. But I feel like it's more so, just by seeing what I'm seeing right now, it's more so a connection to the chip. That's in the docking station. I'm going to let go of the switch because I was holding it. And now I'm moving the switch in the dock. And nothing's happening. Do you see what I mean? With the whole port thing. Now it's fine every time I plug it in. It's so weird. And that's with that one. And that's me wiggling it now, right? And it's not off and on. Let me see if it's still on. No. And I didn't touch anything then. Let me wiggle it. I think it's the port. I don't think there's going to be an issue with these pins. I think more so it's going to be the actual inside the port. That looks like factory flux to me. Yeah, it's factory port. Port doesn't look bad though. Everything's working here because it does display on the TV. It's just when I wiggle the port. Let's get it replaced. And then that'll just kind of clear my doubts of any like, is it going to work in the future? Is it not going to work in the future? If I just put a new port on, it's done. You know what I mean? This port better be the last thing I tell you what. Don't pick the wrong one, Joey. I don't even know which one's which. It's not connected, look. Look how far that is off the board. I thought it was a bit funny when I lifted it, you know. When I saw that the fibres got stuck, I thought to myself, why have the fibres got stuck? So this port's not sitting down correctly. Maybe you don't want to sit down, hey? Doesn't want to make a connection. Look, see that? See how it's not like I'm pushing it down, it's not touching the pins. Doesn't want to sit down. See that? It's miles off. Ah. You can tell me why. Yeah, the locating pins are melted, one of them. See this one? See how it's flat? And it's melted over here. So therefore it wasn't going in the hole. But it would be this hole. So I'm just going to take an X-Acto nut, whatever you call it. One of them. And I'm going to cut it. There we go. And that should sit flush. But I just need to make sure there's no plastic on the pins. Could I use a different port? Absolutely. Do I want to? More so for the lesson and teaching? No. This is the same port. Let's see if it sits down now. I want to say I think it is. I could be wrong again though. No, we're good. And look, notice how now, when I run this over, it doesn't get caught. There's a big telltale sign that the pins were sticking out, you see? It charged both ways. That's good. Charges that way, charges that way. Does it work in a docking station? It's in. It feels a lot more snug. Not as wobbly. Let's go, man. We've done it. Oh, man. I can't lie, this one was a roller coaster. For a free repair as well, this was absolutely nuts. And that is quite simply the end of that. However, I have put it into another chassis because I didn't want it to suffer the same fate as what the previous Switch done, whereby if I put it into the bent chassis, I don't want the board over time flexing. So I have given the person a chassis for the device as well. And here it is. It's not exactly immaculate, but I'll tell you something, it's also not bad condition. If you look at the screen, look at that. Not bad at all. And then we got the back as well. I'll give it a little bit of a clean with the microfiber and some IPA. But in terms of it being bent, it's not bent in the slightest. It's completely straight there. All the screws are also present. I haven't bothered swapping over the serial number because they're not necessarily going to need it. And if they do, the serial number will be inside the about settings of the device anyway. But I've tested everything from the rails and all sorts of other bits and bobs. And this chassis, battery, everything is all ready to go. Device turns on. It reached 100% on the battery as well. Just time to get it sent back to the customer. And that is it for this free repair. If you enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel if you're new around here, and as always, I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye and peace.